Hey YouTube, Rob here again, and this is the second video, the second part of lesson 1 in the Spanish language series for pronunciation. And I apologize in advance if I look a little rough. I was up until about 3 in the morning last night working on homework, and I had to get up at 6 this morning for class, but hopefully I can make it through this video. I'm going to try to get it down to within the 15-minute time limit, but there's a chance I might not because you know how long-winded I am. But anyways, let's get started off. This is going to focus on the Spanish consonants in particular. So if we start off, we have the consonant B, and at the start of the word, B is pronounced like the English B, as in bill, and you can see this in the Spanish words bueno and bien, or after the consonant M, the B also makes the B sound, as in the Spanish word hombre. Let me grab a pen or a marker here so I can point a little bit more effectively. Here we go. In all other positions, B makes the same sound as the Spanish letter V, which is not the English V, as we will see. Next letter is C, and it's pronounced like the English K in front of the letters A, O, and U, like in the English word cook. So, for example, we have the Spanish word casa and cama. The Spanish say is pronounced like S whenever it comes in front of an E or A and I or E, so A and E. So it's like in the English word scent, Spanish words are cena and cine. The CH combination in Spanish is always pronounced like in the English word cheese. So an example is in the word leche, as we saw in the previous lesson. D, or in Spanish, de, is pronounced a little bit different from the English D. In English, when you say D, notice that your tongue is on the roof of your mouth, just behind your upper front teeth. In Spanish, the D or the de is pronounced with your tongue touching the back of your front top teeth. So, de. So this is pronounced as in when the de is at the beginning of the word, such as de, dos, diez, and dedo. When de is in between vowels, it's pronounced like the TH sound in the English word this. So we have todo and cada. So another word that uses both forms of the de is dedo, which means finger. F, or F-A in Spanish, is pronounced just like the English F, like in form. So we have forma, alfombra, and feo. The Spanish H is always silent, as in hoy, hacer, and hay. Spanish G is a fairly complex consonant. It's pronounced like hey. The G, or the name of this letter is K. It's pronounced like the G in the English word go, whenever it's followed by an A, O, U, or a consonant, such as gano, global, and guia. It's also pronounced like this when it's in the form GUE, or like in the word pague, as we saw in the previous lesson with the pronunciation vowels for U. It's pronounced like the G in sugar, like a sort of a less glottalized G when it's in between vowels. So apagar, and oigo. And it's pronounced like the H in the English word hate when it's followed by an E or an I. So, gente and geografía. You can see both G's in geografía. Spanish letter J is pronounced like the H in the English word hate. So, joven, Juan, and ejercicio. The Spanish K is found only in words borrowed from other languages, and it's pronounced the same way as in English. So, koala, kimono, and those words mean exactly what you think they mean. In Spanish, the L, which is one L by itself, is pronounced just like the English L in leak. So, lámpara, pelo, and lápiz. Spanish also has this double L, which is called ella, and it's pronounced like the Y sound in the English word yes. So we have llave, lleno, and a word that we all know, tortilla. If I can get my pencil right. M and N are just the same as in English. So, madre, menos, mano, and también. P is pronounced just like the P in the English speak, not like in the word papa. Notice if you put your hand in front of your mouth, when you say papa, you can feel a puff of air. When you say speak, there is no puff of air. So the English P or pay is like the English speak, and it's hard at first to get the sound right, but with practice it's possible. So we have pan, padre, and apellido. Next is ñ, which is the N with the squiggle on top. It's pronounced like the NI sound in the English word onion. So think of it as like an NY together, ña. So, niño, año, and español. Next letter is the Spanish Q, which is pronounced just like the English K. So, que, quien, querer, and aquel. R is pronounced just like the double D sound in the English patty. Notice how you just kind of tap your tongue against the roof of your mouth. Paddy, patty. It's not pronounced like the English R in the word rot. So we have oro, querer, and parque. Get in the habit of tapping your tongue against the roof of your mouth just behind your top front teeth when you say the Spanish R. Oro, querer, and parque. At the beginning of the word, the Spanish R sounds more like this letter, which is the Spanish R, which is a rolled or a trilled R. So we have perro, borrador, romper, and rock. And it's hard to make that sound at first because it's not an English sound. You can practice with really fast tempo D's if you need to, like da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and then eventually that R sound will come. Arr. I know you're going to make fun of me for all the sounds I'm making. S and zeta both make the English S sound like in set. Zeta never makes the English Z sound like in zoo. So both of these are always pronounced like the S in English. So we have sopa, zapato, Lopez, and museo. Te is pronounced like the English T, except notice that when you say English T, your tongue goes against the roof of your mouth, right behind your top front teeth. In Spanish, you make the te sound by putting your tongue against the back of your front teeth. So we have T in English and ti in Spanish. So, tu, ti, tapa, and restaurante. The Spanish ve is another complex consonant, and to be completely honest, half the time I don't even pronounce it correctly. But it makes a B sound whenever it's at the beginning of the word, or it can be pronounced with the lips coming together as if you're going to say B, but not closing them entirely. So, va, va, va. So we have vamos, llevar, viene, and joven. And B, or be, is also pronounced this way when it's not at the beginning of a word, or after the letters M, or it's in configuration of BL or BR. It's complicated pronunciation rules. Cavo, hablavan, notice both B's in hablavan, and haber, or haver, sorry. And finishing up, we've got W, which is just like the English W in warm, and it only appears in words that are borrowed from other language, such as water polo and windsurfing. And lastly is X, which the pronunciation depends on the word, and to be completely honest, half the time I'm not even sure of the pronunciation of X, because it's a fairly rare consonant. It's like the English H most of the time, particularly in proper names, like Mexico and Oaxaca. And it's like the English X in words that are borrowed from other languages, particularly English, such as X-ray and xenophilo. So that concludes the section on consonants in the Spanish language, and part 3 of this video, of this introductory video series, will focus primarily on diphthongs and other vowel sounds that are in English. So thank you for watching, and good luck!